Hey everybody, Mr. Castleberry here again. I have another quick one for you, and this will kind of tie the bow on the Protestant Reformation. We need to ultimately discuss how the Catholic Church is going to respond to everything that's happening in the world with the Protestant Reformation. All right, so we've got that, and here's a picture for my Star Wars nerds. All right, so the road so far, the Protestant Reformation is pretty popular. Protestants, again, if you have failed to miss this throughout all the other lectures, somebody who protested against the Catholic Church. Any of the teachings of the Catholic Church, whether that's the sale of indulgences or whether that's the election or whatever, right? Whatever any of these groups are teaching. Now you have three major Protestant groups. You have the Lutherans, the Calvinists, and the Anglicans that we've discussed. The Lutherans under Martin Luther in Germany, the Calvinists at Geneva, Switzerland, and they came from France, right into the Anglicans from England. All right, so French Protestants were known as Huguenots, which is just know that. Just know that a Huguenot is a Calvinist, right? Essentially, that's what that means, right? So our focus today is going to be the response that the Catholic Church has to it. So just remember, at least know this, not everybody is going to adopt the Protestant faith or Protestant faiths in general. Spain, France, Portugal, Italy, all going to remain Catholic. Still predominantly, if you've got a practicing Christian in any of these countries today, they're still going to be Catholic, right? The Catholic Church was still the largest Christian church in all of Europe, and it had most of the power and influence, all right? So Catholicism is still number one. It's going to be number one for a long time. Still, I mean, really, if you look at it, if we look at it on paper, it's still the largest Christian church. 1.6 billion Catholics worldwide. Think about like Latin America, from Mexico all the way down to the southern tip of South America. Virtually everybody that practices Christianity is a practicing Roman Catholic. All right, so you have Europeans that are still Catholic, a lot of Americans that are Catholic, a lot of Latin Americans that are Catholic, a lot of folks in Asia are going to be Catholic. Catholicism is going to, if anything, gear up because of the Protestant Reformation. There's going to be a big push inside the Catholic Church to accept some reforms. Remember when I started this whole thing out, I told you that the Catholic Church that we're speaking about in the Middle Ages is not the Catholic Church today. And you could say, whether you'd like to admit it or not, that it was the Protestant Reformation that fixed a lot of the problems with the church. So let's talk about some of those fixes. All right, 1563, note Martin Luther was 1517. King Henry VIII was 1534. John Calvin was in the 1530s. All right, so it's 1563 now, and the leaders of the Catholic Church meet at a place called Trent to discuss some needed reforms in the Catholic Church. And the things that they discuss: no more selling of indulgences. The Catholic Church deemed that a sin, and then it's wrong, and then it's anti-biblical. So in that regard, they agreed with the Protestant reformers. All right. New schools to educate the clergy. What that means is priests are going to have to go to school. It doesn't matter who you are, who you're related to, how much money you have. If you want to become a priest, you have to go and you have to be educated. Right, which is another good thing that happens out of the Council of Trent. Bad things. They did increase the Inquisition. Right, so this is think Spanish Inquisition and torture methods. They're going to go through any of the Catholic countries, and they're going to root out the heretics. Anybody that's a Protestant, anybody that's and they're going to torture them into submission. Anybody that's deemed a non-believer or witches, and we're going to get a massive Inquisition that comes out of the Council of Trent. Right? Not everything's going to change. Services are still going to be spoken in Latin. That's going to be true until the 1700s. They reinforced the idea that the only way to get to heaven is through first faith and also good works. So that whole justification by faith thing that Martin Luther is saying and that King Henry VIII's Anglican Church is saying, they're still considering that to be a heresy, right? That's not acceptable in Catholic dogma. They're going to have a brand new society that's formed. They're going to really, like I said, ramp up missions, right? So they're going to send missionaries out to try to convert the newly founded people of the New World to Catholicism. So you get the Jesuits, also known as the Society of Jesus. They're formed under a guy named Ignatius Loyola that I don't care. I don't care if you remember him or not necessarily. He's not going to be on the test or anything, but just know the Jesuits. All right. For instance, Christopher Columbus, not his first voyage, but the voyages after his first voyage, they're going to include Jesuits. When Samuel de Champlain goes to Canada from France, he is going to bring Jesuit priests with him. These aren't your typical priests. These aren't just flock leaders. These guys are warriors. They're trained fighters. I don't want to say convert or die. They're going to push conversion to Catholic Christianity in an effort really to stop Protestantism, and they're not going to take being attacked lightly. These guys are, like I said, skilled fighters. All right, Jesuit missionaries are going to help strengthen Catholicism in Europe and then throughout the world. And like I said, when you look at Latin America and the work that the Jesuits did there, dude, they did a good job, right? As far as if your main goal is to spread Catholic Christianity, they did a fine job of making sure that that was the case. All right, so that's the Jesuits, the Society of Jesus, right? If you can't pronounce Jesuit, you need to say Jesuits. That's fine. I just want you to know who the Jesuits are. All right, so there's that. Of course, this is you've got this lady holding the cross is not Mary. That's Mother Church, right? And the people that are shrieking in horror away from the cross there, those are the heretics, right? Those are those that have been bewitched by the devil in Protestantism, right? So I mean, you have a deep hatred, before and really sort of after the Council of Trent of Protestant heresies. At least that's how it's deemed, right? I want to finish this up by talking about something. You're going to watch a film for us in this unit. It's available on YouTube called Luther. We would share this in class. Anyway, I think most of you are going to like the film. In previous years, folks have liked it. It will end with this next slide. All right, so one of the things that I want to call your attention to, the very end of the film, whether you watch it before this lecture or not, I don't really know, right? You're going to notice a bunch of dudes wearing what looks like Dalmatian skins. You'll see it at the very end of the movie, right? They're there ultimately because there's been a horrible civil war that's been going on in the Holy Roman Empire, which extends from Germany all the way down to Italy. And you've got these horrible wars being fought over Lutheranism and Catholicism, and what provinces will be what way. And you have a lot of influential people, princes that are going to convert to Lutheranism. All right, and to end the fighting, we get something. This is outside the Catholic Church. This is signed by Holy Roman Emperor Charles V on September 25th, 1555, what's known as the Peace of Augsburg. And all that means, essentially, the Holy Roman Emperor is going to say, all right, in the north, that is a Lutheran section. If you live in the north, you will be Lutheran, or, that you can move, right? In the south, it will be Catholic, right? If you live in the south of the Holy Roman Empire, you are a Catholic. If you don't like that, you can move north, right? This is going to establish a boundary line to keep Christians from murdering each other over doctrinal disputes and disagreements inside the church. So the treaty will officially end the religious struggle between at least Lutherans and Catholics for a while, and you get this permanent legal division of Christendom inside the Holy Roman Empire that is going to last all the way up through World War I and World War II, and sort of establish, a Protestant Germany, after it's founded in 1871, and, a Catholic Austria. And that's going to lead to the 7 Years' War, which becomes the French and Indian War over here. And I hope that you can look at this and see that it's not just a bunch of discussion over church dogma. These things are going to have massive impact, massive influence, really over the world that you live in now and the country that you live in now and its formation and all that stuff, right? All because there were some disagreements, among Christians inside of specific different churches. Anyway, I appreciate your attention. We will pick it up in the next section, oddly enough, by moving, to a whole different continent, and we will discuss Eastern religions, starting with Hinduism. Thanks so much.